भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोपला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलः प्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Gurubhyo Namaha. This is the essence of the verses 12 and 13. Translation and commentary by Maharishi. This is chapter 5 again, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of action and renunciation of action. Now I will add a few words. Here in the verse number 12, Yukta means one united to the Supreme Self. And Ayukta means one who is not united to the Self and runs after the material aspects in the world. Here we have seen that after being united with the Self or the Divine, this self-realized person still lives in his physical body and he remains as a Sakshi or a dispassionate witness. In this verse, the 9 gates mentioned refer to the 9 apertures in the physical body, which are the 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, mouth, genital organ and anus. So the self or the Atma resides in the body like a person living in the city of 9 gates, and one who is self-realized and remaining as the self becomes a witness to all activities taking place through these 9 apertures. Here, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very practical. Bhagavan, step by step, is telling us how to naturally rise in consciousness, naturally become self-sufficient, naturally gain the detachment, naturally to gain the renunciation, and naturally to be in freedom. So here Bhagavan is giving the empirical knowledge as also the experiential knowledge through the meditation. And this meditation is the art of transcendence. In addition, until we gain to this stage, this particular state of cosmic consciousness and God consciousness and the unity consciousness, everyone has to follow these certain principles that are given in this Sanatana Dharma, so that the evolution is naturally progressive and life is more fulfilled and enjoyed both in the outer world and in the inner experience. So it is important to remind again and again the 4 principles that are needed for a successful life or existence and for rapid evolution to being Jivan Mukta or experiencing eternal freedom. So let us go over these again. It is Sampurti, which is being integrated to your sadhana, integrated to this knowledge, and then in your activities you are integrated to your words and your commitments, and in the transcendental experience it is the Sampurti, gaining this state of fullness or the Purnatva. So one needs to have this Sampurti, this integrity in fullness, in totality. And the second is Shraddha, to be able to have this dedication and the authenticity, this Shraddha in doing the sadhana, this Shraddha, both the faith as well as the discipline to gain the self-knowledge and the self-experience, this Shraddha to know yourself, and in the outer world having this Shraddha to gain the peak possibilities and capabilities, because everyone needs this Shraddha in terms of speech, behavior, skills, education, and to develop the full potential. Now the next is the Upayanam, which also means responsibility, taking the responsibility to continue with this sadhana, to continue till you understand the truth of who you are and to know the source of who you are and the source of this existence. And in the outer world, taking the responsibility for all the actions around you and within you, In a sense, one should take the responsibility for all happenings in and around you, and taking the responsibility to bring completion to every project that is taken and every aspect of the life as an individual and also as a seeker. Now the next is apyayanam, apyayanam. So here it means enriching. So you take the sampurti or the integrity, the shraddha or the discipline and the faith, and the upayanam or the responsibility, and you continuously begin to enrich first yourself. That means bringing expansion within your own consciousness, bringing expansion and rising in your consciousness, and naturally gaining the cosmic state and the God consciousness, and naturally gaining this separation in the activity and you being the being. Then with this expansion, you continuously enrich everyone around you. You enrich yourself and the life and the whole of creation around you. Because here your activities naturally are to support the cosmos or the Loka Kalyanam. So here it is important for everyone to adhere to these 4 principles in order to be involved in the outward activity and also for the seeking. Further, these are spiritual principles, and when one practices or lives life by these principles, then great inner powers awake within oneself. So, when one practices sampurti or remains integrated in life, then one can gain vak shakti or the power of words becomes available. When you practice this tattva or the principle of shraddha, the discipline and the faith to being established in the peak of one's capability, then one develops mano shakti, that is the power of thoughts. So one's thinking becomes very powerful. So in the first one we saw there is the power of words, which is the vak shakti, and here we are seeing mano shakti, the power of thinking becomes available. And when one practices this upayanam or being responsible and responding to life from the truth of who you are, that means from the state of being, you being the being, then one gains the power of feeling or prema shakti. And because of this prema shakti, you naturally take responsibility for all the happenings in and around you, because you are connected to all the others as the self. You as the self sees everyone else as the extension of your own self. And finally, with the apyayanam, you gain Atma Shakti, the power of the self alone. Being the self and having this Atma Shakti, the power of the Shakti, the power of the self, you have the ability to enrich everyone around you. You have the ability to help everyone's evolution, everyone's happiness, and everyone's progress. And this enriching happens both again in the spiritually as well as in the material gains. Finally, I would say it's important to live life in a simple way for a spiritual seeker. So try to simplify life. Don't keep accumulating too many material things. When the detachment comes, then you lose interest in all the material possessions. And this happens naturally. But until then, it is better to simplify life as much as possible and then be completely involved, totally involved with whatever you're doing. It is your spiritual sadhana, the spiritual practice of doing your meditation regularly, listening to this Bhagavad Gita and the knowledge on a regular basis, and being involved with any activity that you take up in life, and being completely involved with your family or relationships. Here, involved also means that you be the self and you do whatever you have to do. So in a sense, you as the self, you are not involved. Although it seems that you are involved because you are doing everything in a responsible way. So your main goal, the only goal, is to establish this contact with the being, become self-realized, and then only you can attain the freedom. Freedom from the activity and freedom from the fruits of the action, which are the bondage. So I will end here and we will continue tomorrow. Jai Gurudev, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गीतामाहात्म्यम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकादिवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनं। गीतासु गीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता। भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं। गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः। पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं